So, Reggie, she mentioned that you did a 40-day fast. Tell me about that. That sounds amazing.
Multiple times, bro. I've done
Yeah,
multiple.
Multiple
yeah, yeah.
times. Tell me more, please.
Yeah. Fun with it,
Yeah.
So walk in it, understand that this is your reality. So you are the badass king. You got the baddest show on the mother planet. I know we get beat that out, but I'm just saying, you're that guy. This is your
Yeah.
reality, king.
So, Reggie, she mentioned that you did a 40-day fast. Tell me about that. That sounds amazing.
Multiple times, bro. I've done
Yeah,
multiple.
Multiple
yeah, yeah.
times. Tell me more, please.
Yeah, well, the first one I did was in the Middle East when I was a Christian and I was going through a powerful, painful breakup, with our son's mother, and man, it was just, when you're in incredible brokenness, you can kind of experience and tolerate pain a little bit more. So it was a painful and a timely fast, to go through that 40 days because you're already kind of emotionally broken to the point where you're not eating already. So being in that space and then only having the scripture, the word of God, I would often be in the bathroom like the entire day, just chilling, maybe crying, praying, singing, and eventually, my mom told me I couldn't stay in the bathroom anymore, and she had me use my little brother's bedroom. But it was just it was a crazy experience. But it was me relying on a different type of source energy. That one was way more difficult than the one I just did recently. And that's the one Ebru's talking about, which was last year, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I just did like a 21-day or so fast, maybe just a few months ago. But this one was kind of almost more difficult than the 40-day was because it was more of a parasite detox cleanse. So you're not really taking in any form of sugar, no form of starch, no juices, no fruits, because you're
Did
not
you
taking
drink at least water?
with the detox parasite cleanse. But when I did the 40-day fast, I've had juice, at different times. But within my 40-day fast, I've done like 21 of those days Esther fast, where you do like 3 days no food, water, or anything. Nothing can pass your lips. So I would do three and then typically break it. But recently, I did 7 days when I did the ayahuasca. I did 7 days, no food, no water, no juice, nothing, just air, for 7 days. And then I broke that with the ayahuasca ceremony. That was like the only thing that I had, put in my body. And
Wow.
it was very, 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 very powerful experience. My ayahuasca ceremony, as well as each of my fasts.
So obviously the fasting is grueling and difficult, probably as it is. But like then you do ayahuasca like afterwards. On top of that, that must have been like intense. Like, could you tell me like?
Well, bro, the fasting to me, I feel like it's a stride, like almost like a runner. Like once you break, like sometimes everyone says 2 or 3 days, and because to me it reminds me like you're putting on a backpack and going into the forest or the woods. Once you're in there, you're in there. You know what I'm saying? So, it's really not that difficult as much as it's kind of like a jog. Like I tell people, you could climb Mount Everest or you could climb Mount Self. You know what I mean? You can climb yourself, and what's bigger than Mount Everest is you. You're God. So imagine just climbing. Like Ebru didn't even know it was possible for her to go even a day without eating. She thought she would be feeling horrible or like her body would be breaking down, but she was watching me fast, and I'm having all this energy going. I can barely sleep because my body doesn't need to digest. And this time I'm fasting without the knowledge of like I gotta read the scripture, or that's not, you're not doing the right thing, or I need the power of God and Jesus. God is up there. Come inside me, God. As opposed to I am God. I am just the all that there is. I'm always activated. I am the best. I am. You know. I am. So.
And
Um,
you said you were
mhm.
charging by the sun, right?
Yeah, because I've done breatharian before too, where just living off the sun and air. In fact, I still call myself a breatharian because I still eat off of that energy, so it's still part of my diet. But I also call myself a fruitarian, a vegetarian. I haven't ate meat in months now, but before, everything on my plate before this awakening, everything on my plate had to be meat. I wouldn't even want like a single vegetable on it, or any type of fruit. I only was like pure carnivore, basically. So, um, yeah, so a whole different person since last year's awakening in terms of
Wow.
diet. In terms of diet, yeah.
So you went from like a carnivore diet to a vegetarian, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like completely changed. But I don't limit myself. If somebody like if maybe if somebody's like, oh, this is the world's best burger outside of this place here, it's like, yeah, maybe I'll try it. You know what I mean? But it's got to be something that motivates me. It's not like before I felt like if somebody gave me some food and there was no meat on it, I'm not really eating. They're not really feeding me. So completely different human being now, bro. It's crazy.
So Ibra, are you a breatharian as well as a vegetarian and all that as well?
I know I would not. I still eat meat, but not as often as I used to because I feel like I have learned to listen more to my body. So after the 7 days fast, which was my first time doing a fast, so 5 days I had only juices, and then the last 2 days was like without water and anything, juice, water, food, anything. So after that, I feel like I've been more sensitive to my body, listen more to my body. So now I feel like what we used to eat a lot of like meat and stuff. Today, when I'm eating meat, I can feel like it's kind of heavy on my body. So I feel like I'm still kind of eating meat when I want to because I don't want to limit myself. If I feel like this looks delicious or something I want to eat, I can still eat it. But I can just feel like I know that I'm eating less and less meat. And the less and less meat I'm eating, the more energy I have, because I'm eating more fruit, I'm eating more salad, I'm eating more vegetables. So, but because I'm talking to Reginald and his energy, sometimes I feel it, and sometimes when we talk about meat, he's like saying, "Yeah, but this and that and this," and I'm like, you know what? Let me not eat meat. You know what I mean? Let me just skip that meat for today. But I'm just not. I'm actually eating what I want to, but I'm just not so much meat as before.
Yeah, not at all.
Very cool. Okay. Well, Reggie, what is your advice to people that are wanting to embark on a detox or a fast or
Wow.
yeah, just that want
Yeah.
to embark on that. Obviously, it's very difficult to not eat. I try from time to time, but I'm like, sometimes I'm successful. Sometimes I end up eating something. I'm like, oh, I'm too stressed out. Screw this. Like,
Yeah.
what is your advice? Does it just come down to pure willpower?
It's funny you say that because we literally had a question that somebody asked us about a guide that we have coming out, that's talking about this specifically, about fasting, detoxing, diet, because there's different types of diets. There's alkaline, electric only diets. We're electric beings. So, what are the electric foods to put in your body to stay activated at that level? That's what you want. There's different people that believe in the carnivore diet, which we're not knocking. In fact, we just had a channeler come in from the God realm and bring in Elysium. And one of the diets that was shared with us through the channel was the Primark diet. I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet, anywhere on Chat GPT. Doesn't even exist anywhere. You know, this being barely exists anywhere, but the being had never spoke on any other platform but the one. And this is from the God realm. And this diet specifically was the Primark diet that existed of like 90% carnivore, 5% berries, 5% I believe ground vegetables. But you know, I just say that to say there's different types of diet. So there's not one way of anything that I'm basically saying is the way to be. But in terms of a detox and and a fast, what to do, the main thing I just believe is truly the mindset. Know why you're going into this. You know what I mean? And just know that it's easy. It doesn't have to be hard. It can actually be a whole lot of fun because you're going to know your body in a whole different way, and you're going to know what's controlling you and pulling on you. Because one of the main things of meditation is that feeling that motion, feeling those thoughts, letting them pass by. But you're now acknowledging where's that feeling coming from because you know we move, we're action, so we're energy in motion, so we are our emotions, so we're driven by these things like we all know subconsciously. So we'll naturally go some way that we don't even know it. We'll naturally get out of the bed a certain way based on we don't even realize it's because of these little things. So they talk about doing different things like brushing your teeth with your opposite hand just to mix up the brain. I'm not saying that I'm doing these things. I'm just saying these are examples of just how the brain works between the conscious and subconscious and shifting the self. But it's, to me, you just got to be very forgiving to yourself as well. And what I would, I believe in maybe even all of my fasts, but I don't remember it recently. But if I would start the fast, today's the day I'm starting the fast, and I would fall off. It happened multiple times. Like I start and then I end up eating something that day. It's like, okay, let me now eat what I really want to eat, and then I'm gonna do it again. You know what I mean? And then normally when I ate what I really wanted to eat, I would feel like, cool, I'm not gonna have that urge, and then it's just off to the races, and it's a lot of fun. And then sometimes when you're eating that thing you wanted real bad, you realize, man, it's not that bad. I could already be on day 2. You know what I mean? So, the will now is tasting what you thought was worth it, and you're just able to overpower it. But those little hacks, those little tips and tricks, can help mentally control the will. And through extraterrestrial advanced beings and their guidance, we've heard about those being different things, the ego and the will, and you can actually consciously have conversation with those things and have them to work on your behalf. So I've had my ego, a conversation with my ego and my true or higher mind, as they call it, and self, and all those different things, just to guide me better.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that explanation, Reggie.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll wrap this up, and I guess now I'll go on your guys' show now.
So I can't wait.
Any final thoughts? Let's start with Ebru. Like any final thoughts that you want to give to my viewers?
Oh, that's a great question. I feel like we actually do that on our one podcast too, that we ask our guests, what's the final question. So it's just great to be asked that too. I feel like everything that, having guests on our podcast and the conversations and my whole awakening, everything, I feel like what I have learned that is very powerful to me is being your authentic self. Express yourself, because people know me like as being that shy person, what I used to be, very shy, don't express myself, talk too much. And I feel like throughout this whole awakening and just getting to know myself better, this whole journey, I feel like I have opened my throat chakra a lot, just working on myself, my chakras, my energy and stuff like that, and just become more wiser and knowing myself. Is just really all about like being yourself, and just, be proud of yourself and be yourself and be your authentic self, because I used to always look to the right and left, and Regina will always tell me, don't look at other people, be yourself, be you, and I feel like there's so much power in that, because from that there comes self-love, from that it comes loving yourself, forgiving yourself, all these beautiful things. So really be your authentic self today and express, So that's what I feel like has been very powerful to me, and what's really been the same topic that's been going through with our guest, and on our podcast episodes.
Awesome. What about you, Reggie? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I just feel like we're doing great right now. We're in the new earth reality. So I just feel like the fact that we're on your show, I posted on my LinkedIn today. I said, and I posted a thing on the YouTube community post as well. I said, today in just a few moments, we'll be meeting with an icon, and so
icon. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're that guy, bro.
Because I'm sorry to cut you off, Bridget, but I would say, what we do is also, like it's all about bringing remembrance to people, right? So it's like, remember that you're powerful, remember that you're God, you have the power, your thoughts really create your reality. And I feel like one of the ways that you are doing with your channel podcast, Ken, is that you're showing people how powerful they are. With people, they have different powers, like I didn't even know all that you could do that, with your hands, with your energy, all this stuff that I'm learning. So thank you for that, and we really appreciate you and what you're doing, and having people on your podcast and what you teaching people, and what you can get from your valuable channel. So it's just showing people how valuable and powerful they are, that you're limitless. You can do everything you want. Sorry, I just want to add that.
Yeah. And again, and Ken, have fun with it, So walk in it, understand that this is your reality. So you are the badass Ken. You got the baddest show on the motherfucking planet. I know we get to beat that out, but I'm just saying, You're that guy. This is your
Yeah.
reality, Ken. Do you see what I mean? Just move with that edge and just see what life produces. You know what I mean? That you're that guy, you know, that kind-hearted guy that does this, that does that, you know, but whatever it is, it's that, you know, because you see, I told everybody icon. I've got to correct myself now. I got to say it's I Ken.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, walk
You
in
guys
it, bro.
are
Have fun with it.
I literally just met you guys an hour ago, but you guys are so awesome. Like you guys are like my friends already now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, we love you, bro. Trust me.
you guys and I and Caesar, we can collaborate all the freaking time.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys are all fam.
Exactly,
Like,
bro.
Caesar's
Yeah.
awesome, Reggie
Yeah.
awesome, Eber, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Like you guys
Yeah.
are just
Yeah,
you
you're
guys are
changing the
so
world, bro. We just thank you for you, bro. We would have never found you if you didn't take that step, and you would have never found us if we didn't take this step, you know. But we both decided to do podcasts. That's what brought us here, and incredible connection. You know, we were already excited. Like I told you, I checked with you before on everything. You know, we had the coffee ready, had the you know, the
And we
cannabis
watch your
ready.
channel. Yeah, we watch your videos too. You
Oh
know,
my
like, wow.
god,
Wow.
that means the world to me. Like I man, like I'm literally, you know, I don't know what you guys do for a living, but like I'm literally just a pizza maker, nobody in the real world. So like,
Yeah, but look, bro, alchemize it now. Now you're an icon with the biggest motherfucking podcast, YouTube channel, whatever you want to call it. You know, don't alchemize your identity to a nobody pizza guy, unless that's what you want to be. I mean, because that can be a great Clark Kent.
no.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get out of that right now.
Yeah, now no, you've hit the new earth. You know, you're out of it now. You know, look,
Yeah.
the very first time Brandon contacted us, this Brandon Suarez person who just randomly had this out of body, they contacted us first in our inbox, and they told us that they were struggling having out of body. You know, we just randomly tagged them in an Instagram story. They messaged us, followed us, and then just said, "Hey, I've been struggling to have out of body," and we told them, "You're gonna have an out of body," and lo and behold, we start a podcast. We hadn't even thought about starting a podcast. They would go out of body and say it was because of our podcast. You know, so just know you are who you are, and you are that guy. You know, from our perspective. You know, I was telling
Yeah.
Ebru today, I was like, man, before I start, I was like, I don't know if I told you this though, but I was like, man, I started having a taste for some popcorn, and I don't know what time it is. It's like 11 in the morning right now, but I'm like, because I'm used to eating when I'm watching Ken's material. You know, I pop a bag of popcorn. I only eat like once a day too. Have some pho, you know, and just chill, you know, and just watch the content. It's very enjoyable, you know. So you're consuming people's time. People's time is valuable. People aren't going to waste their time. So you have very valuable content. You're a very valuable person, bro. You ask some great questions. You know, we love the content.
Thank you. Yeah, that means the world to me. Thank you guys so much. I really think that you guys are going to be very successful in your guys' endeavors, and you know, I'm just so glad that I made new friends.
You're
today.
our
So,
first podcast, bro. This is historical. This is never going away. This is never going away from our memory.
yeah. That truly means the world to me. So yeah, I will leave their YouTube and Instagram link in the description so you guys can check it out. And then now I will go on their show now. So
yeah, we can't wait. Stay tuned.
Have you.
Okay.
Yeah.